Good morning. You are listening to UpReach, a morning devotional presented by the Church Street Church of Christ in Lewisburg, Tennessee, to encourage you as you face the opportunities and challenges of today. Let's begin this day together with some inspiring thoughts from God's holy word. For if you remain completely silent at this time, relief and deliverance will arise for the Jews from another place, but you and your father's house will perish. Yet who knows whether you have come to the kingdom for such a time as this? Esther chapter 4, verse 14. Esther is a Jewish orphan living in the land of Persia after her people are taken into captivity from Jerusalem. Raised by her cousin Mordecai, she lives during the time of King Xerxes, who reigns over Persia, a land that stretches from India to Ethiopia. As the book of Esther begins, an edict is sent out to bring all the virgins to the king's palace from the surrounding regions to replace Queen Vashti, who finds disfavor with the king and is deposed. Esther is one of the young women taken and is ultimately selected to be the next queen. Mordecai has a high-ranking position in the government that allows him to learn of a plot by Haman, an official of the king, to kill all of the Jews. Now, the only way this edict will not be carried out is if Esther asks for an audience with the king to request that the plot be abandoned on her behalf. However, to request an audience before the king is a serious matter. If he refuses to give her audience, the penalty is immediate death. It is at this time she makes her famous statement, "If I perish, I perish." Esther realizes this can be the reason God creates her, to save her people from destruction. However, out of concern for Esther, Mordecai explains the situation to her. For if you remain completely silent at this time, relief and deliverance will arise for the Jews from another place, but you and your father's house will perish. Yet who knows whether you have come to the kingdom for such a time as this? Esther chapter 4, verse 14. Mordecai is giving Esther a choice. Either she will be used by God, or someone else will be used to save his people. What about you today? Every day you are given a choice in your daily life. Are you willing to be the person God uses to impact the future destiny of a person or of a group of people? Many of us are silent Christians, simply letting the status quo reign while we sit quietly by, watching. Who knows but what you are created for such a time as this? To be a catalyst, to stand in the gap for some situation in your home, in your workplace, in your community, or even in your nation. Why not ask God for the strength and courage to be faithful to His calling today? This has been UpReach, a presentation of the Church Street Church of Christ in Lewisburg, Tennessee. I am Kyle Bolton, the pulpit minister at Church Street, and I would like to personally invite you to come and share times of Bible study and worship with us each week. We meet every Sunday at 9 o'clock a.m. for our morning worship, followed by our Sunday school for all ages at 10:15 a.m. Then we meet again at 6 o'clock p.m. for our evening worship. We also have a midweek meeting for devotion and Bible study on Wednesdays at 6:30 p.m. I hope to see you there. Have a blessed day.
We've read and heard the story in the blessed old book, how the walls of Jericho the people marched round, and when the trumpet sounded, how the mighty walls shook. Walls around the city came a-tumbling down. The Lord delivered Daniel from the hungry lion's den. He rolled the waters backward for old Moses and his men. He led his people out of Egypt's bondage and his sin. The Lord did calm the ocean and the mighty winds that blew. He saved the Hebrew children from the fiery furnace too. He rose up from the grave just like the prophet said he'd do. He never will forsake us, matters not what may come. Safely he will lead his faithful children on home. The Lord has raised the dead and caused the blinded to see. Cleanse the leper spots and turn the water to wine. The Lord is just the same today and ever will be. There's no other power like the Savior divine. The Lord delivered Daniel from the hungry lion's den. He